Hey folks, welcome back to Affiliate Retirement. So, what I wanted to talk about today is choosing a financial advisor. And the thing that spurred this, I was watching a video uh, this morning that was put out by Jim Living the Retired Life. So, I want to give him a shout out. He's doing a great job growing his channel. He's right around 1,000 subscribers, teetering on the edge. So he has some great videos about his retirement journey. Go check him out and subscribe to his channel if you like it. So he was talking today. I talked last week or so about meeting my financial advisor and doing my Roth conversion for this year. And then Jim was talking about financial advisors on his channel a fair amount lately. So, first of all, I want to say, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just telling the story of how I found mine, partially because it's kind of a unique story, of course. So, here we go. So, I'm going to take you back first to um, 2015. 2015, when I first retired, one of the first things that I realized was that I had lived in the same town almost my whole life, and I didn't really know anybody because I had just always been working, and there were tons of people right in town that I didn't know. So I realized there was this one dive bar that I'd never been into my whole life. And I knew that it was mostly like blue collar working guys that were going there and hanging out after work, and a couple of very successful entrepreneurs were also hanging out there. So I thought, you know what? Why not? Great mosquito. So I start going over there Friday about 4 p.m. This is the time I figured out a lot of these guys were getting there after work. So I'd go over there every Friday for, I don't know, a year or so and hang out. So one day I'm sitting there at the bar, and this guy comes in I'd never met before, and he happens to take the bar stool next to me, and he introduces himself, and he asked me what I do, and I said, "Oh, I just retired." And so he asked a couple more questions, how old I was and what I had done for a living. And I told him. He was very nice and polite about it and didn't push himself on me. So I asked him what he did, and he said, "Well, I'm a financial advisor." And that was pretty much it. We chatted about some other stuff. Super nice guy. Saw him in there again about a month later, and I'd kind of been thinking about it, and I think he had too, honestly. So I had a question for him. I have no idea what it was, but I had kind of prepared a series of test questions for Guy, right? And he answered it, and he asked me, more about how I was able to retire at my age and stuff like that. So this kind of went on for a while, 6 months or so, a little longer maybe. And so finally I told him, you know what, I just need to schedule an appointment and come to your office, and we'll sit down and talk. And he's like, well, I'd be happy to talk to you, but I'm just going to be honest with you right here and now. Like, um, I'm not sure that you really need my help. And so that impressed me quite a bit. Um, so I made an appointment, and I went in there, and he told me the consultation was free, doesn't cost anything. And this is the usual with these guys, which is one reason why you shouldn't be afraid to just go talk to a couple and see what you think. So I went in there and met with him, and we talked for an hour or so, and I showed him some of what I had and told him what our monthly income was and where our investments were and everything. And at the end of the meeting, we basically mutually agreed that I didn't need his help. And which again, that impressed me even more, that he wasn't just super like, trying to reel me in right away. So several years went by, like 6 years, 7 years, quite a while. And I stopped going to the bar because I got too busy with retirement or failing at retirement and doing random other stuff. And so I decide to do the Roth conversions, and I realized that I kind of need a guy to do this for me. So Mrs. Failure and I went back over there and met with him again and went over the whole Roth conversion and then where we're at now with our investments and everything. And so he agreed to do it, and he didn't make any promises or anything of the sort. He was like, "No, I think you're on the right track. I think from what you're telling me, this is an excellent choice you're making to do these conversions, and we'll be happy to manage it for you. And this is what we charge." And so we went ahead and turned all of our IRAs, between the two of us, we had three IRAs at that point, four, I guess, really four. And we turned them over to him, and he started managing them. And then 6 months or so later is when he did our first conversion for us. But then, like, my story's not 100% accurate because he turned out to have a pretty serious heart condition. One of the reasons I went with dude, honestly, is he's about 6 or 7 years younger than me. So I thought, this is good. The guy's like in the prime of his career. He's got some more time. And when we got to his office and met with him, he has a partner, and it's just the two of them work in this financial advisor business together. And I liked his partner too. Well, so here last spring of 24, uh, got a phone call from him one day that he'd been diagnosed with a serious heart condition, and he was going to be retiring himself. So all of our stuff, all of his stuff was turned over to his partner, and now his partner is actually the one who did our conversion this year. But it's really same, it's same company. Those guys were friends long before they ever started their financial advisor journey. So anyway, this is a story of how we met ours. And I wanted to say, I don't think you should be scared. I think there's a lot of people out there who could probably use a financial advisor's help. Not everyone needs this, okay? Um, like I said, we mutually agreed that I probably didn't need his help for a long time, but once I was ready to do conversions, I did. So, what I'm trying to say is, don't be scared to meet a few financial advisors. They don't charge typically for the consultation, so just make an appointment, meet them, see what you think about them. Maybe call them a couple times after that for follow up or whatever. If you don't like it, find somebody else. It's not a big deal. And you don't have to hire them, and you don't have to use them. If nothing else, like the first time I went in there, I didn't really think I was going to use them, but I thought I might get some little nugget of education that would be useful. So that was as much the reason as I went in the first place as anything. And I liked the guy anyway, so I decided to meet him in his office where we could talk more freely. So anyway, again, that's how I chose my guy. Don't be scared to find a guy and just find out. See what he says about where you're at. Alrighty? Appreciate you guys watching, and we'll see you next time on Failure at Retirement. Have a good day.